In Central Park, New York, a solemn ceremony takes place on the 8th of December each year. This quiet part of the otherwise bustling city bears witness to a tragedy that became the main event of 1980. Devoted fans of John Lennon, often braving freezing temperatures, gather to mark the anniversary of the former Beatles' murder. Many bring flowers and candles to Strawberry Fields, the commemorative alcove in Central Park named after the famous Beatles song. Strawberry Fields is directly across from the Dakota apartment building where Lennon, who had just turned 40, was gunned down on that historic December evening. In a fitting mark of respect to a man who believed that love is all you need, fans adorn the Imagine mosaic with their tributes. Named after Lennon's most famous tune, Imagine, the mosaic is a reminder that his song lives on as an unofficial anthem for world peace. Lennon, who was born in wartime England, became an icon of the peace-loving 60s. Forming one of the most successful singer-songwriting partnerships of all time with Paul McCartney, their band The Beatles became the world's first supergroup. Lennon was at the forefront of the tune-out, turn-on hippie era. And along with his wife, Yoko Ono, his love-ins and peace activism became headline news worldwide. His solo career took off, and he continued his quest for love. With the titles of his songs saying it all: Give Peace a Chance, Instant Karma, Power to the People, and Love among his many odes to matters of the heart. His message of peace and hope for a better future was there for all the world to hear. On that fateful 1980 evening, Lennon was to be a victim of the type of violence he had hoped to end with his songs. As he returned with Yoko Ono from a midtown Manhattan recording session, a gunman assaulted him outside his apartment building, the Dakota. Mark David Chapman, who had earlier in the day asked Lennon to sign a copy of his Double Fantasy album, fired 5 shots from a handgun. 4 shots hit the singer as he paused before entering the building. A short time later at the Roosevelt Hospital, John Lennon was pronounced dead from blood loss as a result of his wounds. Later, before his trial began, Chapman was allowed to plead guilty to second-degree murder and was sentenced to a prison term of 20 years to life, despite being diagnosed as delusional and possibly psychotic. The news of John's death had caused shockwaves around the world. His fans reacted with dismay and unbelief. On the night of his death, Yoko Ono sent word to the large crowd that had gathered outside the Dakota building. She asked that they reconvene in Central Park the following Sunday for 10 minutes of silent prayer. A week later, on the 14th of December, 1980, millions of people around the world responded to Ono's request to pause for 10 minutes of silence to remember Lennon. Over 100,000 people came together in New York's Central Park, close to the scene of the shooting. In the 60s, John had been asked how he expected to die, and with the wit and irony that had become his trademark, he made the prediction that he would be probably popped off by some loony. His prediction may have been meant as a joke, but it turned out to be sadly accurate. Before his death, Lennon had said he did not consider himself a leader, just a man who made music. Lennon's widow, Yoko Ono, says her husband would have been upset about the state of the world today.
Well, he would have been very upset that it's suddenly a very violent world again. He was a peacenik, But I think that he would have been excited about the internet, website, all that.
Ono said that had Lennon not been killed, the two would still have been very much in love and happy. John Lennon, who was one of the world's most influential singer-songwriters, is remembered each December the 8th, when hundreds of fans gather in New York at Strawberry Fields to celebrate his life and music. And his untimely death remains the main event of 1980.